Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hoy and Tomorrow. We are your hosts. I'm Maribel Serrano.
I'm Veronica Estrada. Welcome to another episode of Hoy and Tomorrow. We are so excited about this topic today because it's something that can help you in your work relationships, in your interpersonal relationships, and it's something that is a little bit, I would say, challenging to do, and we have some lessons learned to share with you guys.
Yeah, and we were just talking about this behind the scenes, and it got into a very interesting, deep conversation, and I was like, wait, let's hold until we are shooting the episode so we can share it with all of you. So we're going to complete the conversation while you're watching.
Yeah, and again, these are like authentic conversations that Maribel and I are having because parts of my story she's not aware of yet. And so as we discover things about each other, we want to authentically share that with you guys so that you can also be a part of the conversation and get the lessons that we are sharing with each other. And that's like why we started the show. So welcome. This is going to be like a real like conversation here.
A real one, yes. And you get to watch in real time. So we're excited. So the episode is about owning our mistakes. And it sounds almost like something that we've been hearing here and there, right? Like own your mistakes or own up to it. And we were talking earlier and I said to Veronica, this is a very tricky topic because when it comes to anything that's legal or anything that's going to have ramifications on your life, owning up to a mistake can be used, can be seen as accepting blame, right? Or guilt.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot more to it than just owning a mistake. So
when you choose to own that mistake, right? Also.
Yeah. Then I think we can talk briefly about owning mistakes that are like misunderstandings, right? Like with friends or even at work and just simple things that we genuinely had no idea and our intentions were good and it ended up being an issue for someone else. How do you think that people can own those mistakes?
I'm not sure. I'm sort of still thinking about how I'm going to relay the message of my legal situation with you. But we can role play a scenario where you say something that maybe offends one of your friends or your friends say something that offends you.
Yeah. Or something was said to someone, right? And it's like, oh, you shouldn't have said this or something at work happened and it's like, oh, well, this happened. And to me, the way, like what I think helps owning a mistake is definitely taking time to reflect on what the mistake was, right? And
so step one, take time to reflect on the mistake. If you made a mistake or you feel like someone wronged you, either way, the step is the same. Take time to reflect.
Don't respond immediately. Anytime there's a mistake or what could have been a mistake, take that extra time to reflect on what it meant for you when you were doing that, what is in the world of that other person that was affected, and any ramifications or consequences that there will be, right?
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and if it's a matter of ego, that's step 2, is like identify whether it's a matter of ego and there are no other like legal ramifications that are going to come back and affect you. And if that's the case, if it's just a personality or a interpersonal misunderstanding, owning up to it sounds like, hey, this was my intention. So step 3 is own up to it, right? In conversation. So 1, this was my intention and I realized that what it created for you was this, and I recognize that and I'm owning up to my mistake and I will do better next time. Yeah. And then step 4 would be do better next time.
And I think for me also, just because I like to avoid confrontation, I would even apologize. I'm sorry. It wasn't my intention to, offend you, hurt you, or maybe throw you under the bus, but that was certainly not my intention, and I apologize. I recognize where I made a mistake with that, and I am committed to doing better next time. And then, so back to step 3, but then step 4, in terms of owning up to it and then actually doing better next time, I would say really take some time and either journal about it, or while you're driving home or you're on the bus, like have that conversation with yourself of like what led me to that point where I accidentally offended someone or accidentally stepped on someone's toes. Like, what was that? And do some like introspective work with yourself and talk to yourself in a kind, gentle way, and try to catch yourself before you do it again next time, and be very intentional about that.
And love yourself through the process. Like, you know, we all make mistakes, and it's, you know, it's human. And as long as we're owning up and learning from them and recognizing how it affected another person, it's okay.
Yeah. You know? And on that same token, like, don't dwell on it too much. Sometimes we like to punish ourselves and think that we're teaching ourselves a bigger lesson if we keep going over the mistake over and over and over in our heads and talking about it with other people and how you made this snafu. But that's not really going to help you avoid it in the future. What's going to help you avoid it in the future is maybe talking about how you're going to avoid that in the future. Like, let go of the mistake, release it, and be done with that. Be complete with it, because you already apologized, you acknowledged it, you said you committed to being better, and so now your commitment is no longer to the mistake. It's really to becoming a better person and showing up in a way that you're really proud of in the future, so that you have better interpersonal relationships, you know, either if it's at home or at work or, you know, in your romantic relationships.
So what we're going to do with this, and if you're okay with it, is let's create an episode from this, and then I want to have an episode for you, because I really want to hear like what happened in that situation. I think that kind of commands an entire episode about it, because I think that our viewers are going to get a lot from learning about how that was handled. So check out the next episode for Veronica's, or
how owning a mistake in a legal sense, where there's bigger consequences than just an embarrassing conversation or an awkward conversation or a quick apology. You know, the episode I think will be more about what I learned from not having my own back in a legal conversation during an investigation that actually led to, you know, why I was let go from my dream job. And so I learned a lot from it, and I was trying to do the right thing and be honest and have other people's backs, but I learned from that I have to have my own back first, and I need to love myself enough to stand up for myself and stand up for what's right, and then also bring in the evidence that could have really supported my case. And I really just was so out of my head. I was so distraught that I didn't even think to bring in some key evidence that could have really, really helped help me save my own job and my livelihood. And so I learned so much from that, and I'm still working through it, as you can tell. But I would love to just share what happened there with you guys on the next episode. And
therein is the distinction of a mistake that is simply a misunderstanding and something that has like bigger legal ramifications, right? And so that's a very powerful distinction. So I'm excited to just have one episode about that. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope that you were able to get some insights from this episode. As always, if you're not following us on social media, our social media handle is @OyanTomorrow.
Yes.
And share this with 3 friends that can really use this information.
Yes. And remember, own your mistakes and or help other people own their mistakes in a loving and kind way, so that you can then move on and show up as your best selves in the future.
Thanks for watching.
Ciao.